you must get a copy of the repair plan that your shop is proposing to fix your car with.
Okay.
And you must review it. And if you have any questions, you need to ask those questions.
Yeah.
And get clarification. And we're going to take a look at an estimate and give you some advice on what to be looking for.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Airing of Grievances. I'm Eric Reamer. That's Robert Grieve, and we are thrilled that you are here with us today. If it is Saturday morning at 9:30 in the morning in Mountain Time Zone, and whatever time it is in your time zone, and you're joining us for the premiere of this, chat with us. Hang out with us. You can click the chat tab on YouTube, and we will be there to interact with you. If it's your first time here and you've never been to one of our episodes, we want to thank you for taking the time to check us out. If you see something you like, don't forget to click the thumbs up button. That is always helpful, and Rob has some good advice for when you should do that.
Just click it right now.
That's a good idea. And then don't forget, if you haven't clicked the subscribe button yet, that is also very much appreciated. It tells YouTube that what we are doing is relevant to you and helpful to others. So, there it is. Rob, hey, happy Saturday to you.
My dear friend, my dear friends, thank you. Appreciate you being here with us, support that you give, and the comments, and truly grateful.
Yeah. So, Rob, I went away for a little bit. I came back, and you came and put a couple of documents on my desk. What's on your mind today?
You know, we've said in many of the prior videos that you need to be an active participant. If your car's been damaged in a wreck or, needs collision repairs,
yeah,
you want to just find a body shop and
trust them.
Here, you've got my best interest at heart. And
buyer beware.
It may or may not be the best, may not be the case.
Right.
They may have somebody else's interest at heart
Sure.
more than yours, or maybe even their own. I've seen that too.
Yeah. And this is a tale of two estimates.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But these two are representative of...
It's every day.
All of them.
Every day, all day. So, I'm going to say it again, just to make sure that I repeat myself. You must get a copy of the repair plan that your shop is proposing to fix your car with.
Okay.
And you must review it. And if you have any questions, you need to ask those questions.
Yeah.
And get clarification. And we're going to take a look at an estimate and give you some advice on what to be looking for.
Sure.
But, if you see some of these things, you may want to raise your hand and just say, excuse me. Or in some cases, you may just want to run like hell and find somebody that's going to have your interest at heart.
And we will give you a good indicator of when running like hell is appropriate. But there are some things that we're going to show, and in a moment we're going to give you a picture of what an estimate kind of looks like. And then we're going to zoom in on the things that you really need to know. But in the world, I come from the world of radio, and we have a lot of what we call TLAs. That stands for three-letter acronyms. And basically, it's jargon that we in the radio industry understand, but not everybody would.
Yeah, consumers would not.
We have certain TLAs or other acronyms here that we need to zoom in on as well.
Yeah, and then we'll talk about some of the reasons.
Yeah.
That you want to be very, very cautious, especially if somebody was proposing to fix your vehicle this way.
Okay.
So the first one we're gonna look at is a Dodge Charger.
Not Not mine.
Not yours. Not yours. And, why don't you just throw up the overview of this first page?
Okay.
And so when you see AM, A/M,
Yes.
A/M means aftermarket. And in this particular case, so we're looking at line 5 here, it says replace AM bumper cover, aftermarket bumper cover.
Okay.
And then you look at the part number that's next to it, and that part number looks different than the next line down, line 7, which says R&I to lower grill with adaptive cruise, because that's a factory part number.
Okay.
So really all you need to focus on is that AM,
Right.
for these first few things.
And for those who have just tuning in for the first time, what's your stance and position on aftermarket parts?
You won't find them here, and I won't put them on your car. If you want them on your car, you have to go someplace else. And I don't know why you'd want them on your car.
We have 2 years worth of consistent videos and decades of, well, at least almost 2 decades of consistency with this gentleman here saying we're just not going to do it. It's not what's best for you or the safety of you, your passengers, or the people on the road next to you.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
So if we just go to line 8,
yeah.
aftermarket Kappa. Now, we've had several videos about Kappa.
Yes, we have.
There's different types of aftermarket parts. There's crappy and more crappy.
Okay.
So Kappa is the less of the crappy, but nonetheless.
Kappa is a certifying agency.
They are.
Yeah,
They
for
are.
aftermarket parts.
And I get a recall list of everything, not a recall list. I get a decertified list
yeah.
every Monday of these parts that Kappa has certified, and then throughout the process said, oops,
Changed our mind.
yeah, they don't fit as designed, or the metal is not the same thickness, or the holes aren't in the right place, or something in the manufacturing has changed, and we are now going to decertify these
So
parts.
you get a notice of those decertified parts. You don't.
And nobody tells you.
Nobody tells you.
Nobody tells you. But this is really concerning. So number 8 is a aftermarket Kappa impact bar. And then right next to that it says UHS. UHS stands for ultra high strength steel.
Okay.
So this is a specific type of metal
Right.
that this bar is supposed to be made out of, that has a specific tensile strength.
Okay.
And it's a rather important piece to your safety.
Yeah.
You do not want an aftermarket. You don't want any aftermarket, but you certainly don't want that,
Okay.
because that is part of the energy transferring system in the vehicle. So if you get hit in the front, that thing needs to fold a certain way
Yeah.
and take the energy off of you. If you're using this aftermarket part, I don't care if it's Kappa or not,
Yeah.
there's no way for you or me or anybody else to know if it's going to act as a factory one would
Right.
in the event of an accident.
By its very definition, it has to be different than the actual
Yeah.
factory one. We don't know to what degree. That's the ambiguity, which
Yeah.
is why we avoid aftermarket parts. Want to talk a little bit about the energy transfer. We made a video, and I'm going to post it right here, also down in the description box, about energy transfer, because I'll tell you what, when you're in an accident, now today,
Car's supposed to do something.
that's right, today's people survive accidents far better than they used to.
Yeah, they do.
However, it's because of this energy transfer.
The engineering that went into the vehicle with the parts from the factory.
Yeah.
Not something substituted in there that you don't know anymore how it's going to react.
That's right. And in that video, you will actually witness the wave of energy over the car
Yeah.
during the impact.
Yeah, the
We've
whole
got-
car ripples.
We've got a video of that in the video. So
Yep.
take a look at that.
So, and then the next thing is an aftermarket Kappa energy absorber. An energy absorber, that's your 5-mile-an-hour mechanism that you may have heard of.
Yeah.
That, it's not that severe. But this usually styrofoam cushion that goes between the bumper cover and the reinforcement, that gives you your 5-mile-an-hour protection.
Right.
Again, you're talking about something that wasn't designed by the factory or manufactured
And not all
for the
foams
factory.
are the same.
Right. So go down just a little further to line 12. Now we have a new one.
Oh.
This is an LKQ upper grill black crossbars. So LKQ stands for like, kind, and quality.
Which is nothing
It's
like kind or quality.
Yeah, it's generally speaking, it's referring to a used part.
Okay.
But that used part, if you take a part off a car that's been, say it's been hit in the rear and the car was totaled,
Yeah.
and you take this part off the front of the vehicle and sell it, how do we know that that was a factory part to begin with? It may have had a damage in the front and been replaced with an aftermarket part. So, you
Gotcha.
you just don't. Just don't. Going down a little further, we have LKQ headlights. And line 28 is an aftermarket radiator support. The radiator support is a very important piece. You might imagine it houses your AC condenser and your radiator.
Sure.
That's the piece that they sit in.
Okay.
And additionally, you may find that the airbag sensors are attached to this radiator support. And they are going to gauge the
Reaction.
the impact,
Yep.
and they are going to make the decision or suggest a decision to the computer to deploy airbags or not.
Right.
And if this part is not of the same weight, tensile strength,
Even
all the rest
material.
of that material of it may not give the computer the correct information because it's either folding faster or folding slower. Maybe it's more robust. You don't want something more robust. You want it to be the same. And
As the car's been designed.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, then you go down a little further on line 38 is an LKQ radiator. So a radiator out of somebody else's car. How many miles does that car have on it? Does it have the same miles as your car? How well was it maintained? If it's got 75,000 miles on it, was service done at 30,000 miles to change the fluids and all that? You don't know.
You don't know.
You don't know. And the thing about a LKQ radiator, if your vehicle is still under bumper-to-bumper warranty or a factory extended warranty, then it will void the warranty on the radiator. That radiator will not be warranted.
Okay.
But if the radiator fails and causes something else to fail, like your engine overheat and need to be replaced now because the radiator failed, your engine is not covered either because it failed because of a aftermarket or a used part that was
Wow.
installed in the vehicle and shouldn't be.
So when you cut corners, there's a domino effect
Yeah.
to the potential damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we don't need to get into the next page, but the very next page starts with an LKQ air conditioning condenser. Condenser is a very finite piece. It's the first thing. If you look through your grill, you're going to see this black with all these
Sure.
fins and all the rest of that, and it's skinny. That's the cooler to keep your air conditioning functioning.
Okay.
And if that fails, and a little bit of shrapnel, a little bit of metal inside of there will go through it and go into your compressor, AC compressor, and detonate the compressor. And
Those are words you never want to hear.
yeah, I'm not saying it's going to explode, but the inside is going to kind of explode and it's not going to function.
Right.
And that also would not be covered under a warranty if it was found that they put a used or an aftermarket condenser in the vehicle. Quite possibly. But why take the risk?
Who is saving money in the process of these kinds of estimates?
The insurer. The insurer is the one saving the money, because if you look at the bottom of this estimate, you're going to have your deductible.
Right.
All right. And that's really all you want to pay is your deductible, although that's changing big time in today's markets. You're going to pay your deductible.
Yeah.
But you're getting less value. And all of this stuff diminishes the value of your vehicle.
Right.
So you're going to come away with a wrecked car that was fixed, that isn't worth as much as it was before the accident, and is worth even less now because of the type of parts that were installed on the vehicle.
Right.
And, God forbid this estimate you get from your body shop, and it has all this stuff on there, if they're a certified shop. And we've talked about that also.
We have.
If they're, like this one would be FCA, Fiat Chrysler
Okay.
certified. And if they're Fiat Chrysler certified and you're bringing it to them because they've got the badge on
They've
the wall.
got the badge.
And the plaque, and you feel as though you're going to get that something, these are specialists and they're going to look out for me and they know how to fix this car.
Right.
If you see these types of entries on there, you're in the wrong place.
You are in the wrong place, because there's that conflict of interest. We've talked about it before in one of our videos. There's that conflict of interest. If you are a certified shop and yet you're writing for the insurance company, you're probably in some kind of a partnership with the insurance company, and which it's the story of the two wolves, one on each shoulder. Which one thrives? The one that you feed.
Yeah.
And it's the one that makes the most money for the shop and for the insurer that tends to get the priority. So if you see these things, it goes in direct conflict with the promise.
That that comes with the manufacturer badge. That's, again, it's my opinion. I think you would agree with me. But
I certainly do.
And sometimes, we're not even going to show this estimate, but this one is on a 2022 Ram truck, and sometimes it's what you don't see on the estimate that should concern you.
Okay.
And this 2022 Ram has all sorts of sensors and 360 cameras, 360 view.
Okay.
And so cameras in the front, in the grille, it's in the mirrors, it's in the back, it's through the windshield. And what I don't see on here, and this was a pretty decent sized job. Let me just skip the end here just to give you an idea. Yeah, this was a $17,000 job. So pretty well hit in the front.
Yeah.
There's no pre-scan or post-scan on it. And we've talked many times about the necessity, and really it's I'd like to say that everybody knows that, but we know that that's not true either. But if they don't, then you're definitely in the wrong place.
Yeah.
But there's also no calibrations. So those 360 cameras, once you start, taking the mirrors off and taking the grill off, which the grill is smashed to smithereens.
Okay.
You need to make sure that system is operating as designed.
Right.
And it works. There's a lot of information that makes that system work.
Sure.
And it's doing a lot of things. It will know if you're starting to move out of your lane and all the rest of that stuff. But there's other things that you can't see that need to be addressed. One of them is the steering angle sensor. That has to be calibrated.
That's the steering angle sensor is the thing that says your steering wheel is at center.
Basically, yes.
Right.
Basically. It's an electronic piece that tracks where your wheels are.
Okay.
And what degree of turn they're in, and It works alongside your ABS also, because that's counting how fast the car is going. There's
Sure.
so much stuff that goes
Okay.
into this. But I have a vehicle here that has the 360 and all the cameras, and it was repaired someplace else, and the steering angle sensor is 7 degrees off. It's supposed to be 0. It's called a 0-point calibration. And if it's not 0, and you calibrate all these cameras to something that's getting information that it's 7 degrees off,
Yeah.
what have you calibrated it to?
Well, I can tell you.
And how do you expect it to work?
I can tell you this right now. If we leave Denver today and we're heading to New York and we have a 7-degree error in our steering, we're going to Miami.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah, so there's lots of things to be considered, but sometimes it's what you see, and that's all I can ask you to focus on. If you have questions, you can always call,
Yeah.
and you should call your repairer with any questions. Sometimes it's what you don't see. If you don't see, and it's a sizable crash, I think there should be an alignment on here. I think you should check the frame to make sure it's measured properly.
Right.
I think you should check do a pre-scan, a post-scan, check the steering angle sensor. How about my cameras and my blind spot monitors? And you got to ask those questions.
Many of these things are, in our experience, the insurers tend not to want to pay for.
They don't want to pay for anything if they don't have to.
Right. And so they may omit those thinking they're not necessary. Again, let's keep in mind what the role of the insurer is.
They're not the repair professionals.
They are the ones who
They are the
pay.
funders.
That's right.
They are the funders.
Yeah.
We are the repair professionals. And the shop that you bring your vehicle to, you want to make sure that they are a repair professional working on your behalf.
Yeah.
And you must get a copy of the repair plan, and you must tell them if it changes in any way, I want an updated copy, and tell me what's changed and why. And there should be no surprises when you pick up the vehicle.
Right.
So that's what I got for today.
That's really important. And so do us a favor, if you will, please. Leave us a comment if you have any questions or you want to make a statement. I know there's a couple of you who are just itching to make a statement, and we appreciate you. But more than that, if you would share this, will you just click the link? There's a share button on YouTube in the apps, but just click the link and stick that over on your social media. Share it with your friends. This is important information, and again, we hope you're not in an accident, but if you are, you really do need to be present and active in the process.
You need to take a role.
Yeah.
You need to take a role because it's your vehicle. There are many shops that will put these parts and not tell you.
Right.
Because, and when I ask, why didn't you tell them or get their permission or say, hey, for $50 more, you can have a factory part or whatever the case may be. And they say, well, that's not what the insurance policy says, and it's their policy. So, you got to be involved in it. And if you have questions, ask your shop, call us, whatever.
Yep.
We're happy to help out and take a review.
All of our contact information and the links that we mentioned earlier are down below. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us for ours. We do appreciate you very, very much. And if you've made it all the way through this, don't forget, click that subscribe button. We'll see you next week on the Airing of Grievances. Happy Saturday.
Have an amazing week, folks. God bless.